Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that could reshape the future of global politics. Europe is in crisis mode, holding emergency talks as the United States signals a major reset of its transatlantic alliance. What does this mean for the relationship between the US and Europe? Why is this happening now? And what are the potential consequences for global stability? Stick around, because this is one story you won't want to miss. Before starting the video, please subscribe Voice of American People and hit the bell icon for latest news updates. To understand why this moment is so critical, we need to set the stage. The transatlantic alliance between the United States and Europe has been the cornerstone of global security and diplomacy for decades. From NATO to trade agreements, this partnership has shaped the world order. But now, that alliance is facing its biggest test in years. The US has signaled plans for a major reset of its relationship with Europe, and European leaders are scrambling to respond. What exactly is this reset? And why is it causing so much concern? Let's break it down. Alright, let's get into the details. According to sources, the US is planning a significant overhaul of its transatlantic strategy. This includes changes to trade policies, defense commitments, and diplomatic priorities. One of the key elements of this reset is a shift in focus from Europe to the Indo-Pacific region. The US sees China as its primary strategic competitor and wants to reallocate resources accordingly. But this has left European leaders worried about being sidelined. Another major factor is the growing divide over economic policies. The US has been pushing for America First policies, including tariffs and trade restrictions, which have strained relations with Europe. Finally, there's the issue of defense spending. The US has long urged European NATO members to increase their military budgets, but progress has been slow. Now, the US is hinting at a possible reduction in its military presence in Europe, which has sparked alarm among European leaders. So, how is Europe responding to this potential reset? European leaders have been holding crisis talks to discuss the implications and formulate a unified response. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and French President Emmanuel Macron have been at the forefront of these discussions. Both have emphasized the need for Europe to strengthen its own defense capabilities and reduce its reliance on the US. But not everyone agrees on the best path forward. Some leaders, particularly in Eastern Europe, are concerned that a reduced US presence could leave them vulnerable to Russian aggression. Others argue that this is an opportunity for Europe to assert its independence and take a more active role on the global stage. One thing is clear, Europe is at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming weeks could have far-reaching consequences. So, why does this matter? First and foremost, the US-Europe alliance has been a pillar of global stability for decades. If this relationship weakens, it could create a power vacuum that other nations, like China and Russia, might seek to exploit. Second, a transatlantic reset could have major economic implications. The US and Europe are each other's largest trading partners, and any changes to trade policies could disrupt global markets. Finally, this moment highlights a broader trend, the shifting dynamics of global power. As the US pivots to focus on China, Europe is being forced to rethink its role in the world. This could lead to a more multipolar world order, with multiple centers of power competing for influence. To get a better understanding of the implications, we reached out to political and foreign policy experts. According to Experts Name, a foreign policy analyst, this reset is a wake-up call for Europe. It's time for them to take more responsibility for their own security and economic future. Meanwhile, Political Analyst's Name had this to say: the US is sending a clear message, the world is changing, and Europe needs to adapt. But this also presents an opportunity for Europe to redefine its role on the global stage. So, what does this mean for the future? If the US follows through with its reset plan, it could lead to a more independent Europe, but it could also create new tensions and uncertainties. What do you think? Is the US right to shift its focus away from Europe, or is this a dangerous move that could destabilize the world? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more breaking news and deep dives into the stories that matter.